So one of the most important things I think in just taking it next level, like I'll be blunt. A lot of people talk, they have a lot of talk, big dreams. They're all excited about doing renovations. And so many people will say to me, oh my God, I'd love to do it full time and I'd love to quit my day job. But the truth is, there are quite a few steps that need to occur between thinking about it, dreaming about it, having a desire to do it, and actually telling your boss, I'm not going to come in on Monday, which is like a beautiful place to be in, right? Because when you are renovating full time, you can jump in and get stuck in and work hard. You can also, as soon as a property is sold and you make chunks of money, say 50, 100, 150,000, whatever your profit from that particular flip was, you can take some serious time out. So there are quite a few people I know who will do one renovation per year. They earn as much as they used to earn in their day jobs, and that'll do them. That's enough for them to live off. So, you know, that renovation might take 3 to 6 weeks for a cosmetic renovation, maybe beyond if they've struck some unknowns, or if they wanted to do a structural renovation, then it takes a bit longer. But the truth is, in that shortish amount of time, they can out earn what they earn in a year, and therefore the rest of the year is free. So that's the whole aim of it, right? So when people talk about quitting their day job to renovate full time, I can't blame them, because it's pretty desirous. Taking action, even if you don't feel ready, is the smartest thing you'll ever do in your whole life. There is nothing that makes us feel worse than seeing other people doing what we'd love to do and feeling like it's okay for them. They're doing it because of whatever reasons we justify in our own minds. At the same time, oh, we can't do it because of I've got grandkids, or I can't stop working, or I'm just too busy, or my parents need my help, or like any of those things that we'll use as excuses. So the gap is horrible. Like the gap of watching what other people, or watching other people doing what you love to do and you not taking action, is awful. So I'm a big one for taking action, even if you don't feel ready, because if you decide to go and get all of those things lined up in a row, all of your ducks in a row before you start, I'm telling you, something else will turn up, and something else will turn up, and something else will turn up, and there will be another excuse and another excuse, and you actually won't get started. So we did a goal session, or I did a goal session with the students right at the beginning of this year, and something that I'll take people through every year. When we're actually setting our goals, we're talking about making and writing down actionable steps, like actionable things, just things that we'll do. And if we can just get out of the overwhelm in our heads and attack these things one by one, like take each little step one by one and only just look at that step. Don't look at the big picture, but just look at doing that one little step. Then you will get there. Like you'll just get there little bit at a time. So I think if you're talking about goal setting, certainly in the renovation space, you need those action steps. You need to put dates on those steps. You need to reward yourself every time you get through a little component, because it's pretty cool when you actually make it through to the end. You need to constantly remind yourself why it's important, because let me tell you, somebody else's barbecue or a night out with the girls or a few wines after dinner and watching some Netflix is a lot more exciting than sitting on realestate.com.au or RP data researching property. There will always be distractions, and sometimes people in your life, even though they love you dearly, they might even want the same thing. Like if you're in a partnership, whatever you do in the property space is going to benefit them as well. But sometimes their influence on you will be say, hey, hey, honey, just come and watch this for a little while. Like they don't even realize that they're actually throwing things in your path to distract you too from taking the right action. So it's really important that you have there written down so clearly for yourself why it matters for you and for your family, why it's going to matter for your finances. And set timelines and deadlines, and not look at the great big mountain to climb. Just look at the thing that you need to do first. And the thing that you might need to do first is perhaps take a leap of faith and jump into a group like mine, even if you don't know what's in there until you're in there. But man, when you get in there, your mind will be blown. But at the same time, just taking that leap of faith, that's one step. Like that's one step closer to your goal. Get off YouTube, get off trying to figure all this rubbish out for free. That will take you so much time. And during that time, there's all of these other distractions that keep on arriving for you. So, get started in any way you can, but it's really important to make that start. All right, let's go. So start as soon as possible. Examine the risk and discuss the level of risk with your significant other. This is like me. I would jump out of a plane, couldn't care less. I guess that's why I was so suited to the police in my younger years, because I actually don't mind the buzz of surviving something like driving on the wrong side of the road in pursuit at amazing speeds and then catching, the baddie and high-fiving everybody else in the team saying, yeah, we got them. Like that kind of stuff floats my boat, but it doesn't float everybody's boat. Some people just aren't risk takers. Some people are really conservative. So you might be like that, and your significant other might have a totally different level of risk. This was me at the theme, well, not me personally, this is a picture representing me at the theme parks. I was on all of the rides with the kids, laughing, screaming, going upside down, going backwards, like that's me. Hubby always said, I'll be the bag minder. I'll mind the bags here, love. So we went to Disneyland and California Adventure Park, and I just went nuts on the ride. Brett was quite happy to mind the bags. Some rides he'd say I'm going on, and others he didn't. As a couple, we have managed to navigate our independent and differing levels of risk and still do property investing. You know what? You have to work with what you have. You can't push your partner beyond their level of safety. You can stretch them a little bit, but you just can't terrify them. And I don't want you to do that. There's no reason to do that. So take actionable steps considering your levels of risk, like with that in consideration. One thing that will fuel your fire is to start with someone else. So say if you've got you and your partner and you've got a couple of friends and you're all out for dinner and they say, hey, do you want to go and do a reno together? Instead of just saying, oh no, or it's all too hard, just say, yeah, I'm open to that, and start discussing it. So start with somebody else. If you see somebody else doing, and this was all about last week's talk, it's like believing and seeing other people doing it. If you missed last week's conversation, jump on YouTube. It's in there. It's also in the mums and dads group under guides. But you need to start with something you feel comfortable with, and it's great to start with somebody else, and you need to believe that the outcome can work for you and will work for you. But begin before you feel ready. I started my business from a desk in the corner of my lounge room with my headsets on in my unrenovated house. I can't tell you how much business coaching I've done and had people inside those groups say, I can't start yet because I haven't got my study organized. I can't start yet because I haven't got the best laptop, or I can't start yet because I'm just waiting for something. By the time those people begin, my business was already cracking. So it's the same as property, just start before you feel ready. You may never, ever actually feel ready. Like, I don't even know what that means. I really don't know what feeling ready means. So just get cracking. And while your emotions are really high, if you come off something like this and you're excited, or you've done some free training and you're excited, get cracking then. If you don't make the moves and take those leaps of faith while your emotions are right up there, you'll get back to the day to day. All of your hopes and worries and fears will start to mess with your head. Other people will start to land their worries and fears on your psyche as well and keep you flat. Like, honestly, if you get to a point where your emotions are high and you feel a little bit supercharged, that's the time to book a call. That's the time to take some action. And then when you get inside a group like ours, or if you start renovating yourself and you get your little wins, that's when you get excited, and then off you go. Like, you're already on the path once you hit that stage. So the first place to start is if you're worried about perhaps dipping your hand into your pocket and you're worried about investing big in the renovation space, the best place to start is on your own place. There's a few advantages to that. So let's talk about that. Number one, get all unfinished jobs completed as if you were going to sell your house, and get your partner and the kids involved and excited. One of my students is actually doing this right now. Her husband was less than enthusiastic and couldn't see the big picture about renovating and flipping homes for a living. And she desperately wanted to quit her job. And so what she's doing is working with our Reno coach, and she is moving through getting the value of her property up, getting all of those unfinished jobs finished first, so that she can grab a chunk of equity and start investing and start, doing her own flips. So that's what she's decided to do. Now, what happened as a byproduct of that is her husband is now on board. He's now excited. He's getting through all of those tasks. He's finishing off all of the jobs that they popped aside. They're doing things together. It's great for their relationships. The kids are involved too. And so everyone's a little bit enthused about what the future might look like, just from saying, hey, let's get our own house finished. Let's make sure that it looks amazing. And the 3 wins from starting on your own home. Number one, your home will feel nice. Like, not only like you get to be rewarded by the feel of your own house while you're wandering through it. So it's really important. Don't underestimate how good it makes you feel and how positive your life will feel if your home feels nice and your environment is great. Number 2, your skills will improve. Practice on your own place before you start, doing great big bathroom strip out jobs. Go and revamp your own bathroom, perhaps replace the tiles or whatever needs attention. So your skills will improve. There's no pressure time-wise too, when you're, maybe you wanted to try doing a splashback for the first time in your life. What a great place to practice is your own home and the laundry in your own home. So the big 3 win, or the 3rd win, is that your property is going to value up. Like, you are adding value to your property, which gives you more equity to pull out and get started. And yeah, obviously start your education at the same time. So starting small, guys, if you don't feel ready to go out there and just go and buy a property and get started, then start where you're at right now on your own home. Let's talk about the risk, the real risk and perceived risk of buying property and the spend and starting too small. So this is probably I really think it's probably one of the best things I've put together in relation to people seeing where they're at and being able to identify where they're at, and the problem with being in the space where your property values are very, very small. Your reno spend has to be very, very tight, and the chances of something going wrong are probably greater. So let's break this down. I'll explain it to you. So here we have across the bottom property values: 100,000, 300,000, 500,000, 7, 9, right to 1.2 million and beyond. The arrow goes that way, guys. So, and here let's call risk a number, from 0 being the lowest level of risk and 10 being the highest level of risk. And let's talk about the perceived risk, what people think. People think that if they're renovating properties that are around about 100,000 to 200,000 in this little pocket here, their perceived level of risk is that it's small, like they can't get into too much trouble, that it's okay, and that's a great place to start. But I actually think, and I know I've experienced some results from our students as well, the actual risk is way higher. So, and it's the same with properties that are worth a lot. The perceived level of risk, what people think they're risking, is right up here. But the actual level of risk when you're renovating higher price properties is right down there. There are lots of factors that I go into in the membership program that influence that. But let's look at it really simply. I think this is the golden circle. This is the pocket. If you can renovate homes, say between 300 and 700,000, that's a really nice place where people's risk, their perceived risk and their actual risk kind of meet in the middle. That's the place to play. So we'll talk about the higher price properties. When you are renovating a property for, say, 1.3, you might be spending 500,000 on that property, or a bit more or a bit less. and you can sell that property at, 2.9, whatever you can bring that property to, you're making profit in the hundreds of thousands, right? So if you overspend by 6 or 7 or 8,000 on something, it's not going to make a big difference in the big picture. You're still going to earn a lot of money. But let's have a look at properties down here in the 100,000 or the 150,000. Number one, they're usually in areas that don't sell very quickly. So you've got to cast that property off to somebody else at the end. Number two, your renovation spend has to be really tight. Number three, one lot of energy, guys, whether you're doing a property for 150,000 or 1.2, one lot of human energy goes into that renovation, your energy. The same amount of organizing, trades, planning, all that kind of stuff that we do in a renovation. Your profit down here is likely to be something like 25,000. I'm like, just stop it, so I think this is the golden pocket, right? Profits of 50,000 and above up to 150 or 200,000 in this pocket is pretty easy to obtain. It's pretty doable. My guys do it all the time. So this is the place to play. So, thinking that you're reducing your risk by playing in the lower price properties, I think is wrong, and it's kind of a bit dangerous. All right. Recognize that procrastination can be disguised as must-do distractions. I'm talking about, hey, I'm about to get ready doing a renovation, so I need to go and do an interior designer course first. No, you don't. I am going to go and do a renovation, and so I'm going to need a whole set of folders set up and everything so that I can, whatever it is with my invoices, blah, blah, blah. No, you don't. I'm about to go and buy a property, so I need to talk to this person, do this course, do that course, do this. No, you don't. You need to land in one place. You need to find out everything you need to find out, and you need to clear all distractions that are very, very disguised as must-dos. It's just ways of procrastinating. I think our body's already kind of set that way to procrastinate. We need to fight it. We need to get moving towards your goals. I just mentioned one of our students, Karen. She's just cracking it. So proud of how she's doing right now. Karen was so nervous about starting. I spoke to her several times before she took that leap of faith. Once she took the leap of faith, she was in the program for a little while and actually sent me a text from her first property going, oh my God, I've just pulled this property apart. I'm mid-reno, I have to put it all together. But her words were, I've never felt more fulfilled. I should have done this a long time ago. So that's even before she'd finished the renovation. That's even before she'd worked out her profit. And you can go and listen to Karen's story here on our podcast. And super proud of Karen, but Karen's an example of many, many people in our group. So just to give you an idea of her first renovation and what she was able to do, the property is currently under offer, so I don't actually want to give the location away. If you want to know that, feel free to send me a private message. I don't mind sharing the subject or the location with you privately. But okay, so the property is currently under offer, and she'll find out at the end of the week. Her original feasibility was to reach a profit of around about $50,000 to $70,000. And this property was in the $300,000 range, right? So she's playing down the end of my little favorite bubble. But it was her first renovation, and the area in which she's renovating has got room to move, but she knows the area very, very well because she lives in that area. Here's what she did. Here's some before and afters. That's the veranda. When you're playing in the small space, you'll do things like you'll paint over tiles. She did a great renovation, replace the flooring, just paint everything, just make it fresh and new style as best she can with what she had is pretty much what Karen did a great job, didn't call in the pros just because of the demographic, didn't require it, tidied up outside. She did this tobacco barn, and it's such a nice project when you see inside what she was able to do. So an old broken down shed, for and creating a livable space from that old broken down shed was a really smart thing to do. And like I said, her profit is likely to be, if this offer goes through, somewhere between 70 and probably closer to the $90,000. So super proud of Karen. What she did was take a leap of faith, start actioning things, just get going. And I just, you know me, I really like to see how people are doing, and I like the human story of all of this. So, that leap of faith is the first step. Regardless of whether you work with me or not, or any of my guys in Team Rare, I really do want you to commit to setting actionable goals and putting dates on things, and then writing down everything you need to do to be able to accomplish that goal by that date, and keep on moving forward. If you have an accountability buddy, that's fine. If you want to check in every Monday night with your significant other, that's a great idea, or a best friend. Whatever it takes, guys. I like to see momentum, because without momentum and without getting started, the feelings of regret start to kick in. Property values have gone up a lot. If you really start to examine the opportunities that have gone past in the last 12 months, then that puts a monetary value on the cost of procrastinating. So I just love it when guys and girls just get cracking along. Does anybody have any questions? You are welcome to ask. Yeah, Penny said, go, Karen. Super proud of Karen. She just did a great job. All right, guys. So if you want to ask anything, feel free to pop them in the comments, and I'll make sure that I have a look at the Facebook. Yeah, opportunity cost, Penny, exactly. I'll have a look at the Facebook post and answer any questions in a minute. And other than that, love you all. See you next week. If you wanted to book a call with me, you better hurry up. I've got an event coming up at the end of the week. There's also details about that event in the Mums and Dads Renovators and Decorators group, but I get pretty busy. So if you want to book a call, make it sooner rather than later. Hey, that might be your first action step. Cheers, guys. Bye. Thanks for tuning in.